This is the ULooper from XSonic. It's a unique looper pedal that works with amps like the Spark Go, the Spark 40, the rest of the Spark amps really, as well as amps like the Boss Katanas, Yamaha THRs, and others. You might know XSonic for the AirStep wireless foot controller that connects directly to Spark amps without using an app. They also have the controller for the other amps as well. That's not what this video is about, so let's talk about the ULooper. Here's what makes the ULooper unique. Unlike looper pedals like the Boss RC5, you can create loops with multiple different effects with amps like these. That's because many of these home practice amps don't have an effects loop. Now, I want to be clear, there's nothing wrong with pedals like the RC5. This is an incredible pedal. So I would say even maybe an advanced looper pedal. These have different use cases, and only really you can decide which use case is right for you. So what the ULooper does is it connects to the USB audio interface or audio out portion of your amp. In this case, I'm just going to talk about the Spark amps because that's what I use mostly. So it plugs into the audio out with the USB cable, and so it records whatever signal you're sending that audio out at the time of the loop recording. If you want a clean backing track and a dirty solo over it, you can do that. You wouldn't be able to do that with these kinds of amps with an RC5. It's going to repeat the loop over and over, no matter, like if you change the presets, change your amp settings, change the effects, it's going to put the loops, every loop you record on it, through those same settings. The ULooper lets you do different settings. You want to record a clean backing track and a dirty solo, you can. You want to record a dirty backing track and a different dirty solo, you can. Want to create a dirty backing track, a clean backing track, and maybe a different tone solo track, you can. Want to use this to write two-part guitar riffs or guitar harmonies with different tones specifically, or even the same tone? Of course, you can. Since I don't really do solos, my favorite way to use this pedal is to actually write guitar riffs, two-part guitar riffs. So you can lay, say you have your first guitar riff, you can lay it down and then play over it, kind of figure out where you want to go with a second guitar. So really nice for that. And the beauty, again, is you can have different tones for those guitars. Let's talk a little bit about how to use the ULooper. This is going to seem a little weird, but you don't actually plug your guitar into either of these 1/4-inch jacks. So this jack is actually a line out, so you can plug it into external speakers if you want. This is a reserve jack right now. They have plans for it, I think, but hasn't been announced what they're going to do there specifically. There's a few options like a expression pedal, I think. But anyway, once that is kind of set, you'll be able to do a firmware update with the USB and have the additional feature. But anyway, again, a little weird because this is a guitar pedal, but you need to think of it more like an external recording device, right? It plugs in through the USB and you record whatever's coming in or coming out from the amp onto the pedal. And so you just play normally. You plug your guitar into your amp. Again, that's how it's able to record a clean backing track, and then if you change your preset or tone, or a dirty solo track or a dirty backing track, that's how it's able to do that, because you're not playing through the pedal, you're playing through your amp into the pedal. And a note for Spark 40 users, it comes with a USB-A to USB-C cable, which you can use for the Spark Go or the Spark 2, but you're gonna need your cable that came with your amp to use this pedal with the Spark 40, which is what I'm going to be using for this demo coming up. And also for the Boss Katana 50, you're going to need a TRS cable. Now, some tips on how to use the ULooper. When you're switching through your presets and recording, you're going to have some different audio levels. The master volume might be a little off. So you need to mess with that and mess with your presets, mess with the master volume, so the level, assuming you want the same volume on each track, you're gonna have to mess with that level. Might sound a little confusing, but once you get the pedal and play around with it, you'll see what I mean. It's not complicated, but it's something just to remember and keep in mind. That means the same thing, doesn't it? Remember and keep in mind. And I do want to state, even in my demo, I didn't have the levels perfect on the recording. In the room, everything sounded fine, but once I started editing the video and the recording, some of the overdubs, the levels were a little quieter or a little louder than the backing track. And again, if you're recording like I was for a video, that's a little maybe more difficult to get it right. Like I said, in the room it sounded fine. And another tip is, if you've never used a live looper pedal, don't be hard on yourself. Getting the timing right is not easy. What I recommend is to keep playing when you stop the loop recording, so there's a smooth transition from the loop part of your riff. That might, again, be a little confusing, but I'll demonstrate it in the demo. You'll see what I'm doing. I practiced a lot, so I'm not a live looper, but I practiced a lot for this video. But when it came time to record, I still messed up a lot, as you'll see in the demo. So again, type of thing, don't be so hard on yourself. I have a little bit of red light fever once that camera's red light recording light turns on, and you might have just a similar thing even if you're not recording. Don't worry about it, just take some practice. A looper pedal is great for getting your timing better, because you need to get those loops recorded and stopped at a perfect time, or else you're going to have an odd sounding loop. So really good for that too. With all of that said, on with the ULooper demo. Please like, comment, and subscribe. All right, that worked out, huh? So, that was Levitating, Dua Lipa. Kind of, I guess. Now, of course, you can record multiple tracks. So if I wanted to record that melody line over it, over the rhythm, of course I could do that. You can keep adding, but I'm not going to do that for this, because really that song is just those couple things, right? So what I'm going to do, switch guitars, first turn this off. Oh. And by turn it off, I meant play it for a little bit. All right, so I got it deleted. Let's do something else. That was fun. Yeah, so as you could hear, another option is to have a couple recordings and then still play over it. As far as like practicing for, if you want to practice scales, want to practice soloing, that type of thing, you can lay down, one chord progression and then just play over it, which is kind of a typical thing a lot of people do, of course. So I'm not a solo guy, so I'm not going to do that. But we will. Let me delete this first. Or let me play it. Let me delete it. Okay. Let me do another. That didn't go how I wanted. Oh, it again didn't go how I wanted. I forgot to turn off the recording. One more time. I'm going to keep forgetting to stop the recording, aren't I? All right, one more. Let me keep my foot there so I don't forget. All right, that was a little better. So anyway, what I like about this pedal is what I've already explained earlier, that you can record multiple channels or multiple amps, multiple effects, and that's fun. Something you can't really do on other single pedal, single channel loopers. So yeah, just a fun thing you can do clean with some distortion, or two different kinds of distortion, or whatever. Of course you can never change anything if that's what you want to. So in any case, yeah, that's the ULooper from XSonic. You want to pick it up, there's a link in the description, and I will see you next time.